Hello everybody, thank you for joining me again today. I'm Lee from thecraftyspark.co.uk and today we are going to do a little Valentine's project with these. How cute are they? These are little owls that I've made using the Owl Builder punch, and the papers that I've used in the middle there are from Love Blossoms Designer Series paper stack. Look at all those lovely pages. Aren't they pretty? There's some really gorgeous designs in there. But what I've done is I've just chosen these two today because I wanted to make a little girl and a little boy. Actually, they should probably be around that way, shouldn't they? So that they're looking at each other. Oh, love is in the air. How sweet. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to make a little tea light holder for them. Now, you may remember just before Christmas, I made a Santa owl, and he was sitting in his little house and there was a tea light inside it. Well, that's the same kind of thing that we're going to do today, but because we've got two owls this time, rather than just the one, we're going to do it a bit bigger. All right. So, what should we do first? I know what we do first. The first thing we're going to do is move Mr. and Mrs. Owl over there. Now, I've got here a piece of vellum card. And this measures 10 3/4 inches by 8 1/4 inch. All right. I was just looking around actually because I've got a big piece of foam that I'm going to use to lean on, but I need some coloured paper or something, otherwise you're not going to see what I'm actually doing. Hang on a minute. There you go. There's a red bit. That'll do. That's it. The reason I wanted that under there is because I'm going to be using this stamp here, which is the Blooming Love stamp, and this is actually a photopolymer set. Now, with the photopolymer stamps, it's always better if you stamp onto the stamping mat that we do, because being the photopolymer, you need to be able to get that proper definition going properly. But because this is quite a big sheet, it's too big for my stamping mat. As you can see, doesn't fit. So I've had to compromise and use some of my children's fun foam stuff, and the only one I could find was the white one, so that's the one I'm going to go for. Right, I'm also going to be using the Stays On Cotton White. I did think about using the craft white, but I've decided to use the cotton one in Stays On instead. A couple of reasons really. First off, I want it to dry quick because I'm doing this on camera. And also, what was the other reason? There was another reason. I don't know what it was. What was the other reason? Oh, there's another reason. I just can't remember what it is now. There's definitely another reason though. But what? Oh, what donut? What I'm going to do, I am just going to stamp a little pattern on here. Now, there's quite a big sheet, as you can see, and a very small stamp. So I'm going to carry on stamping at my normal stamping speed, but you're actually going to see it in fast forward. All right. So when I finish stamping, I'll come back and start talking again. There we go. Now, I know there's rather a lot of stamping on there, but because it's such a small stamp, I had to do quite a lot, otherwise you wouldn't have really got the right kind of effect. I did try it when I was sort of figuring this all out the other day. I did try just doing just a couple, but because it's so small, it just didn't look right. And when I used this one, which was my second choice, these lovely flowers, that was too big. So we ended up like that. Now, somebody I know somewhere is going to be saying is, oh my goodness, you've used photopolymer on permanent ink. Yes, I know. It's fine. You can clean it off. What I would suggest you do is, first of all, get a baby wipe and rub it quite hard with a baby wipe. Then use shock gasp horror. A lot of people are going to be saying, oh, you can't use StazOn on photopolymer. No, you can't. The recommendation is that you do not use StazOn on photopolymer, because if you don't clean it off properly, it will actually affect the photopolymer, and the photopolymer will actually start to disintegrate slightly. However, if you use just a tiny bit and a child's toothbrush, give it a scrub, and then immediately wash it in hot soapy water, your stamp will be okay. All right. I don't recommend doing it too often, but if you do it just the odd occasion, you'll be fine. All right. So make sure you wash it off properly. If you don't, you will ruin your stamps, and it will be your silly fault for not washing it properly. Okay, not my fault. I will deny all knowledge. Right. Okay, so we now have our nice vellum cardstock with our nice stamping on it, and just looking frantically around the room. You are going to need your Stampin' Stamp. What's it called? Simply Scored. It's not stamping anything. It's a Simply Scoreboard. Oh dear. Right. I always turn it over when I'm embossing. Yeah, I suppose it is embossing, isn't it? When I'm scoring onto vellum cardstock, I always turn it over away from the stamp side, just in case it's not fully dry. I don't want to end up making lines all over my lovely vellum cardstock. All right. Now we're going to start off with the 10 3/4 edge across the top, and you're going to use the smaller end. Whoops. You're going to use the smaller end, not the bigger end. Usually when we do scoring, or when I do scoring anyway, I use the larger end, but I'm going to use the smaller end. I will warn you, when you score onto vellum cardstock, you have to be very, very gentle. And anybody that does that gorgeous embossing on their vellum will know that if you push too hard, you'll go straight through it. All right, so be very, very gentle. But the reason I'm using the smaller end rather than the larger end is because I don't want a big fat line. A small line is more than adequate, but just be very, very careful. Right, first score line we're going to do is at 2 5/8. All right, so just gently. You don't need to push nowhere near as hard as you do when you're using cardstocks. Just do it gently. All right, so 2 5/8. Then we're going to go to 5 1/4, and you'll notice as you make your line, it does start to lift at the end. Can you see that? Hold it flat, because otherwise you'll find that gradually you'll be moving it further across that way, and you'll end up scoring in the wrong place. All right, so just try and hold it flat. If you can't hold it with one hand while you're scoring and holding the rest of it, put something heavy there. That will hold it for you. Right, where was I? 5 1/4. Okay, 7 7/8. Just creeping my hand across. So 7 7/8. And then that last one, still holding your vellum nice and flat, is going to be 10 1/2. All right, it's quite a narrow one on the end there, nice and gentle. All right, then you need to turn your cardstock so that you actually have your flowers pointing that way. All right. See, so my flowers are going to my left. What's my left and right? Flowers to your left, all right? Pointing to your left, otherwise you're going to have upside down flowers. All right, so we flowers on the left, short end across the top. You want to score at 2 1/2, all the way to the bottom. And, whoops, 6 1/2. All right, so 2.5 and 6.5. There you go, and that's your scoring done. Now, actually, if I put that piece of card back under, you can see what I'm doing then, can't you? All right, so that's all my scoring done. So now I just need to fold it on my score lines and fold along that score line. There we go. You find that when you fold it, it folds over and it doesn't move. So you just need to sort of just manipulate it a slight amount so that it can actually flatten back out again. Whoops. Come on, fold. That's it. There we go. And again, make sure you're lining up on your edges when you do your folding. Vellum has a little mind of its own sometimes, so you have to sort of coax it gently. Treat it with affection. Well, why not? We are doing Valentine's ones, aren't we? So why not love your vellum as much as you love your loved ones? There we go. Right, and then the last one, which is always the pesky little one. Unfortunately, we couldn't really do one much bigger than this for this project, because being vellum you can see straight through it almost, which means you're going to be able to see some tape. So if we can make it as narrow as possible, yes, you will still see the tape, but it won't be so bad. Now, where did I put the tape? That's the next question. There it is. I'm hiding under my scissors. So just some nice narrow double-sided tape, the Stampin' Up tearing tape. Tearing, what's it called? Tearing tape? Yeah, I'm sure that's what it's called, tearing tape. It's really, really good for this because it's very narrow. So it's the ideal thickness, because it fits just perfectly along that gap there, like that. Right, now then, see what I mean? Once you fold it over, it wants to stay folded, it doesn't want to come out again, but I need it opened again. There we go. Right, now we need some scissors. Where are my scissors? Some scissors. And first of all, we're going to cut off this tab at the end here. Do it at a slight angle, just to make it fold easier. Snip that off. That one's done. Right, then you need to cut along the narrow end, so at the very bottom. All right, not the top, just the bottom. Don't touch the top. Just cut along the bottom. And then, before we do anything else, we are going to get a 2 3/8 scallop punch. Fold up those three there, like that. In fact, you could do this before you even cut. Doesn't matter really, either way is fine. But fold them up, and then with your punch, slot it up. Whoops. And you need to line it up. I'll just stand up so I can see what I'm doing. All right, line it up so you're using the edge of your punch and your score lines to line up the center. All right, push it up as far as it will go, and once you're happy you've got it lined up properly, there I think, then just punch it out. All right, carefully take your punch out. Now I say carefully because being vellum and a scallop punch, you might get little bits catching like that, for example. So you just have to sort of just maneuver it a little bit until you get it out. Oh dear, It's not going very well at all, is it? It went really well earlier. It came out so easily. No, it doesn't want to. That's it. Just had to get that bit under there. There we go. All done. Right. Good. Open those up. That edge where you've just cut there, you get some bigger scissors and just trim it so that it's nice and straight. Just keep it neat. Alright, like that. Move those bits out of the way. And then we're just going to just slightly notch in these flaps that we've cut off. Just a little bit. Don't go too mad, but just a little bit, so that when they actually fold under, you're not going to see them. Okay, so I've probably gone over about 1/8 of an inch, so about 3 millimeters, I suppose, to cut that notch out. So if you go too large, you'll end up seeing it, because, like I said, it's quite see-through. Not completely, obviously, but it is a little bit. And I'm just going to put a very small notch on that flap there as well. And on that one there. There we go. Right, let's move that out of the way. Now, we've already got our tape here. I'm actually going to put the rest of the tape on, because when I was doing it earlier, I got in a bit of a muddle and I couldn't get the tape to stick where I wanted the tape to stick to, and it got rather annoying. So I'm going to put one piece on that flap there. Where's the next bit? Oh, and then we need, where do we need this one? We need one bit here, like that. And then, so I'm just trying to work it out because I can't remember where it's got to go. Oh, I know, we'll have one on this bit here. There, that should do it. I think, anyway. I hope. If it's not, I'm in the wrong way. Right, let's get, whoop, wrong thing. Let's try a pokey one. And now we can actually put our little birdhouse together. So start off, take off the bit on the side, line it up, and then once it's lined up nicely, then you can stick it down. There we go. Now this tear and tape is lovely and strong, and it's also quite transparent itself, which is why it's ideal for using on the vellum cardstock. I'm just going to remold my vellum. Right, now let's take these bits off the bottom and see if I've actually got them in the right place. Oh dear, come on, off you come. That's it. Right, the last bit that you want to put down is that front flap. Alright, so if you do your sides first, don't stick it too hard, but just so that it's roughly in the right place. That way, if you haven't got a nice square, it will come off easier. Take that one off the front there. Let's put that down. And the last one is this one from the back. Come on, off you come. There we go, that's it. Alright, so I can now stick my finger through the hole and actually make sure that tape is nicely stuck, which I'm sure you can probably see me doing, can't you? I'm sitting down, you're looking in the camera. Yeah, there you go, look. In fact, it's probably better if I look through the camera, I can see what I'm doing then as well. Rather than just feeling my way and hoping for the best, like you do. Right, okay, there's the start then. So, next thing we want to do is we're just going to pinch the top together. Just a tiny, tiny bit. Just so that it starts to form that kind of milk carton shape that we want. If you just use your finger just to run it down on the inside of those sort of side bits there, because we don't want, oh dear, look, bent it. What we don't want is creases, really. Well, mind you, you could have creases, I suppose. It wouldn't make much difference. I like it without creases. There. All right, so that's going to be the starting point for our little birdie house, our little owl house. Look, see, this is the problem. Once you've bent it, it likes to stay bent. Oh, I'll sort that bit out in a minute. Right, now we're going to decorate our house a bit more. First thing we're going to do is we're going to sort the roof out. Now, for the roof, I have used lots of labels, Thinlits dies. I've used the largest one this time, and what I've done is I've cut 1, 2, 3 out of the rose red, and I've also cut the 2 hearts. Now when you do the hearts, you need to cut, actually where's that bit of paper gone? There it is. This is the one I was actually cutting from, because you need to cut kind of half a shape, because if you cut a whole shape, half of your hearts are going to be facing the wrong way. So with all your hearts going towards you, if you put your die on the edge of the paper before you run it through your Big Shot or your die cutting machine, and just cut out half of it just from sort of the top edge, then you're going to have your hearts going in the right way. Otherwise, like I say, you're going to be all upside down and around the wrong way. Right. With your with one of your shapes, grab your scoreboard and line it up in the centre. Now, I hope I'm not blurring here, because I want you to be able to see this properly. Can you see at the top here, there's these numbers. You've got a set of numbers at the top and a set of numbers at the bottom. The top numbers are your centering numbers. The bottom numbers are just where your score lines are. All right. So if you want to find the centre of something and you want to score dead in the centre, what you need to do is line up whatever it is you've got and make sure you've got the same width from that 0 to the edge, 0 to the edge. And as long as you have, you will then be scoring straight into the centre. Now it needs to be, it's not actually on one of these lines, you see, it's just over that there, I think it is. So what I would suggest, there's no point me giving you the number because it's not actually a number that's on here, but it's kind of just past the 4.5 if you really want to go on that one. Actually, that's, yeah, I did have it around the right way. Right, so we're going to score in the middle, fold it in half, and I'm out. Okay, I was supposed to do that one again. Oh God. Oh dear. Oh, what a wally. Right, I think that's it. Should we have another go? Actually, let me just make sure that's not in the same place as I was just now, because if it was in the same place, it's going to be wrong, isn't it? No, it's not. I've moved over. Oh dear, that's better. Look. Oh, sorry about that, everyone. Oh, what a wally. Never mind, because I'm actually going to cut it in half anyway. So it's not completely wasted, just a bit wasted. Oh boy, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing now. Hang on, did I need that one? I was saying cut 3 shapes. I can't even remember if I need 3. I'm sure I do. Wait a minute, let me just double check. It might be 2 and 3 including my pattern bit. Yeah, it is. You don't need 3 of these ones. You need, oh dear, you need 2 in rose red, cut 1 in half, and then 2 halves of the hearts. That's what you need to go for. Oh, wow. Oh, right. Let's stick them on, shall we? So, with your folding outwards, you're going to be sticking so that they're looking like that. All right. Now, a good way, whoops, good way of measuring these, if you really want to measure them, is you can use your grid paper, or you can just go for it, wherever you like. Whatever you do though, make sure it's even, all right? Otherwise it's going to look a bit strange. Where's my snail gone? Right, so if we do one side first, and then I can show you how to line it up properly. So if we go about, what would you say, just over ½ an inch, because I want to be able to see those lovely hearts. So that's straight. If I use my grid paper, I can line it up on the grid paper. Makes life so much easier. There we go. So if I put that bit on there, all right, stick that down, and then, oops, take another bit. Now this is the card, so I'm now going to do a card bit on my paper a bit, and again line it up. You can use your grid paper if you've got some. If you haven't got some, I'd suggest you get some, because it's fantastic stuff. The amount of people that have said to me, oh, I really didn't see the point of that grid paper until I saw what you use it for. It's brilliant. It's so simple, but it's just so brilliant. Right, now to line up, to make sure you've got a nice equal roof, if you fold, whoops, in half, and then obviously you need to make sure you've got halves, equal halves before you do this, but you can just fold it like that and you're in the right place. And then you can just do the same on your other piece as well. Put a bit of sticky on it, line it up. This one's easy because this one you can just line up at the bottom. Fold it over, stick it down. And that is now your roof, which is going to be going on the top there, like that. Now, I just remembered why I said to do 3 of these. It's because you need to put one under there as well. I knew there was a reason for it. I knew I wasn't going totally nuts. You need to put one under there because where you've used the pattern paper, you can actually see it. So when you've got your little birdhouse, like, you can see the edges of it. That's why you needed the other piece. Right, grab your other piece and you need to score it in half like we did just now, preferably in the correct place rather than in the totally wonky donkey place that I did. Yep, look at that, perfect that time. That's better, isn't it? Oh dear, sometimes it's really hard work, isn't it? Right, I'm going to use some glue on this one because I want to make sure this one sticks down properly. It's got a couple of layers to stick itself to, so just going to make sure it's going to be nice and stuck. So I don't want it pinging off. That would be a disaster, wouldn't it? Right, so just line it up in the middle, fold it so that you know you're in the right place. And now I know when I put my roof on, it's not going to show, which is what I want. So if I put it on now, see, you can't see the underneath. It hides that paper. All right, so that's my roof done. When you stick that bit on the inside, it will not then flatten. Don't panic, all right? It stays like that because of the width of the card in between. So it's fine, all right? Don't think, oh my goodness, I've done something wrong. You haven't. It's exactly how it should be. Now then, how are we going to attach our little roof? Now, the one I did last time at Christmas, I actually popped a hole through. And do you know what? I think I might do that again because it did look really pretty when I did it. I popped a hole through the top there, and then when I put it on, I then put some ribbon through it, and it looked really nice. So yeah, I think I'll do that again this time. I was actually toying with using the Love Blossoms, whoops, whoa, accessory set, which you can see I haven't actually got a lot left, but you do get these really cute paper clips, and I did think of maybe using one of those, but I don't think it's going to be quite big enough, is it? No, it's not going to be quite big enough, so no, I won't use that. What I will do is make a hole in it. So whoop. I'm going to use my crocodile to do this because it's quite thick now. I've got so many layers of card on there. Ruler, 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 ruler. Where is my ruler? There it is. Let's find the centre. There's my nice pen. Where's the centre of that? What's that measure? That measures 2 7/8. What's half of that? That's 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, it would be, wouldn't it? 1, 2, 3, and a smidge. About there is the centre. So I'm going to use the 1/16 hole to begin with, just to make sure I'm punching in the right place. Yeah, there we go. I can't decide actually. I'm thinking, what, as I'm talking, what colour, what should I tie in the top of it? And I can't quite make my mind up. What do you think? Do you think we should go for gold ribbon, silver ribbon? What does Mr. and Mrs. L think? What do you reckon, guys? I think you'd look quite cute with gold, don't you? Right, let me just grab some gold off of the roll, which is on my curtain pole, hanging across the other side of my room. Oh, it's a new roll. Hang on a minute, I've just got to get the plastic off. Oh, I can. Right, I've got the ribbon. Sorry about that. Let's do that. Let's do that again. So, going to pinch together the roof. Pop that bit on the top. Let's get it roughly in the right place, because you want it to overhang just a little bit. Just gives it a really nice effect. Now, please be careful when you do this. If you're going to stick anything through anywhere that's sharp, mind you don't poke yourself in the hand. All right. Probably shouldn't really use a pokey tool, should I? That's not really the best way of doing it. I'm sure there's a much safer way, which would be to use your punch, which I'm gonna do now anyway. There we go. Right, open out, everything back out. There we go, that's it. Perfect. Right, let's just thread this ribbon through. The one I did at Christmas, I actually used the gold cord that we had for Christmas, but unfortunately we're not stuck in that anymore. We've gone back to our ribbon, although I've got to admit I did like that cord. There is a gold thread you could use if you wanted to, but I think this ribbon's going to look really nice. There we go. Right, so if we put that in place, and then you can pull your ribbon through, and your ribbon will hold your roof closed. Wow, I've got a lot of ribbon there, haven't I? Geez, how much ribbon do you need? Well, I've gone a bit over the top on the ribbon, but no. Oh, I like ribbon. It's a good job, really, isn't it? Otherwise, it would be in a bit of a disaster. I have way too much ribbon. Right, let's just tie that in a little bow just for the minute. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop a couple of glue dots underneath that roof as well, just to sort of hold it, because it's only flapping a little bit. I mean, the ribbon actually holds it quite well, but I just want to make sure it does stay stuck down properly and it doesn't pop out on me in the middle of the night or something. So I'm just going to pop a glue dot just under there, just to hold each side down. And then, whoops, that one didn't come off. That's it. There we go. Right, so there's the base of our little house. Now let's put some greenery around it, shall we? Now to do that, I'm going to use, just swimming across my room and swinging back again, the bird builder punch. So we've gone from the owl builder to the bird builder because I want this lovely leaf, because I think that looks really cute. What colour have I got here? This is not the one I wanted. I wanted garden green, and that was something completely different. Hang on, let me get some garden green out. I'm just rummaging in my spares box. Here we go. Should always have a scrap box where you keep bits of scrap paper like this, because you never know when, oops, sorry, just whack the tripod. We're back in focus. You never know, there we are, when you're going to be needing one of your scraps. So let's just, I'm going to cut a strip that's 1 inch wide, or 2.5 centimeters wide, because by doing it like this, it means that I can actually punch branches without wasting all of my cardstock at the same time. I'll show you what I mean. Look. So if I get my card and I pop it in my punch, and as long as I angle the card right, so what I'm doing is I'm doing the leaves at one end, and I've done the branch so it actually goes almost to the top of this edge, and then when I punch that out, I can then turn the card over. I'm going to have to go a bit round the wrong way here, but I can actually line it up if I'm very careful. Whoops, nearly. Takes a bit of practice, but there, I've actually got 2 leaves out of that little piece of card. It's quite impressive, isn't it? I think so. Do I sound proud of myself? Oh, lovely. So I'm going to do another one. Whoops. Just turn that one over. And I'm also, I think I will, just to give a bit of effect, I'm going to use some more of the paper. Oops. Hang on. I've put stuff all over it now. No, that's not a green one. There's one of them has got quite a lot of green on it. Which one is it? These are all bits that I was using earlier. Okay. It's going to be this one, is it? No. No. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, there That's the one I was going for. I'm just going over to the side here. I'm just going to cut another inch of strip off of that. Hang on. There we are. Back again. Right, the reason I want this one is because it's got some flowers on it as well. Look. That's just going to add a bit of interest to the foliage. Make it nice and beautiful and nice and pretty on the foliage. You can mix the two together then, you see. Oh dear. If I can get it out of my punch. Anyway. Where am I going? That way around I want to go, don't I? Let's get the leaves in. There we go. Oh, did you hear that dog barking then? That's one next to our neighbour's dog. There he is again. He's a lovely dog. Great big golden retriever. Very friendly. Well, golden retrievers are friendly really, aren't they? I don't think I've ever met one that's not friendly. Oh, come on, line up. Do you know what? I don't think there's actually enough room. That's why it's not lining up. Oh, well, never mind. We'll go with 3. 3's fine. I'm sure we've got plenty anyway. So, what do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3. And then we've got... Oopsie daisy. Got some pretty ones as well. Right, let's just pop these on. Now, what I was actually planning on doing is my little owls. As you can see, I'm going to put a nice close-up picture on the blog post that goes with this video, which you'll find in the comment section underneath the video. I'll put a nice close-up picture of both of these little owls so that you can see how I've made them, all right? But I'm actually going to put them kind of like that, so they're looking at each other, you see. And we'll have some leaves. So if I pop some leaves on there first, actually, that might be a good idea, mightn't it? Let's take those off. Now, when you're doing these leaves, they can be incredibly fiddly. I will warn you. Where's my glue dots gone? There they are. So, let's de-fiddle the leaves and put some glue dots on them, because that will then hold them in place for me, won't it? Which means it's not going to be quite as fiddly. Well, that's the plan. Is it going to work? Well, who knows? You never do know when I'm doing it, do you? It could be all, could go completely wrong, or it could be absolutely great. I was just checking what way round those were, because I want to have some that are going the other opposite way. Yeah, that's right, wasn't it? It's got to go on that side. Is that it? I think that's it anyway. Right, pop your leaves on. Once you've got your leaves where you want them to go, then you can pop your owls on as well. Let's have some of those climbing up there, shall we? You can go up to see Mrs. Owl. Whoops, I should have put that underneath there really, shouldn't I? Rather than on the top. That's it. And then we'll have, because Mrs. Owl is going to be around here, isn't she? So there. That's it. Right, once you've got them in place, just grab your scissors and then you can just nip off any ends that are hanging about that you don't want, to actually get them all nice and neat and tidy and how you want them to be. All right, like that. Whoops, I want that one under there. I want that one under there, like that. There we go, there we go. Let's just, oh, I nearly cut a leaf then. Did you see that? Nearly lost a leaf. Oh, nearly done it again. Oh, goodness. There. I think I might leave that one as it is for a minute because I'm not entirely sure I want that one to stay there, to be honest. Right, Mr. Owl turn next. So see, Mr. Owl is going to be going here, like this. So I'm going to put some glue dots around his bottom. So he can be stuck by his bottom. You don't mind, Mr. Owl, do you? Good. I hope not, because it's tough if you do. So let's put him there, like that, with his little bow tie. And as you can see, I've done his eyes. I've done the whites of his eyes, so they're actually pointing up that way. And the whites of Mrs. Owl's eyes are coming downwards, so she's actually looking down at him, which I think is rather cute. And she can sit just behind those leaves. In fact, we don't need that one there, do we? Let's gently pull it off. There we go. I'll leave that there for a minute. Right, so Mrs. Owl. Oops, she's hiding that flowery one. I'll tell you what, I'll put that one. That one can go there, couldn't it? Like that. That's it. Where's the scissors gone? And then if I just snip that off, I'll get that bit out in a minute. And then, yeah, that's it. Because look, then Mrs. Owl can be sort of up in the rafters. Sorry, Mrs. Owl. Stick you right up in the air there. But you are supposed to be high anyway. So you can be... Now let's threadle you in the leaves a bit so that you look like you're in the tree. There we go, like that. All right, and the last thing that I want to do, I'll just move all of this out of the way. The very last thing I'm going to do is I was going to put one of these nice sentiments on. Now, if you see this one here, that fits perfectly like that. Doesn't that look good? I think that looks really cute. But I need to go and cut it on my die cutting machine. So I'm just going to stamp it and then just whip off and cut it. So give me a second while I just do this. I'll be right with you. Now, what colour should we do it in? I think I'm going to go for, wow, do you know what? I don't know. Should we just do it in the rose red? Because it's the rose red cardstock that I've been using anyway. So if I just do rose red, it will look nicely coordinated then, won't it? So I'm going to put a bit of, there we go. If I stamp that one on there first. All right. And then I'm just going to close that before I stick my fingers in it because, as you know, I'm good at doing that. Shall we have, what should we have? Be Mine. I think that's good. That's quite appropriate, isn't it? We'll have Be Mine. What colour should we do that in? That could be done actually in a brown, couldn't it? If I just do that in the early espresso, which is the same colour that I did for the, oh, I can't get my words out, can't think. The same colour I did for the owl's body. That's what I was trying to say. God, that was hard work, wasn't it? Sorry, people. Right, I'm just going to move this out of the camera because otherwise I can't see what I'm doing and it means I can't line it up. So, there we are. Now, you may have seen my head or you may not have done, but that's what I've done. Alright, so I've just stamped that on there. Now, just give me a minute while I die cut that and I'll be straight back. There we go, all back. Now, to die cut, I should have said actually, there is actually a die that matches from the large numbers frame knits, and this is one of the new sets. I've actually got this on a magnetic sheet, which is why it's a black sheet, but this is one of the new sets of dies in the new spring summer catalogue, and it is fantastic. I mean, you cannot go wrong with numbers, can you? Let's face it. And it comes with this banner, which actually coordinates with quite a lot of our stamp sets, including Love Blossoms, which is very handy. Right. Oh, sorry, just moving the big shot back out the way again. Now then, let's pop this on, shall we? Make it look all nice and cutie tootie. Where's my... There they are, glue dots. So we can put the glue dots on. Now, I was planning on going there, but I'm wondering, shall we go up there? Shall I go there instead? Rather than there? Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I've just had a great idea. That's going to go there. Like that. I am going to hang a little love heart there. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, that's really exciting. I like that idea. I'm just trying to get some of my pink glimmer paper. This is the new, hang on, the new Blushing Bride pink glimmer paper. Look at that, isn't that delicious? Whizzing across the room, trying to find my little heart punch. Hang on, where are we? There we go. Whizzing back again. Oh, nearly fell off my chair. I got so excited. I broke my neck. Oh, what a dear. Right, there we go. That's what I'm going to do. And that, oh yeah, look. I could go there, couldn't it? Or should I hang them? No, I will hang them. I'm not going to do that now though, because obviously you're going to be rather bored sitting there watching me make lots of little hearts and string them and hang them up. But what I will do is I will put the pictures onto my blog when I'm done. So when you actually see the final pictures of this gorgeous little birdhouse, it will have, I'm just trying to find my scissors again, it will have some lovely, lovely hearts just hanging down there. It's very hard to show you this actually on the camera because the camera is, as you can see, it's above. I need it to be kind of side on to show you this, but oops, there's still a bit of a bit of leaf in there. But that is it. That is now a gorgeous little birdhouse. Oh, isn't that pretty? And I'm so chuffed with that. And it's perfect for popping a tea light in. Alright, so if you turn your tea light on, you can just fit it past your owls. So it will sit there day or night with your little light going, looking really nice. Ah, so pretty. Right, I will show you some pictures of that in a bit more detail when I actually put it on my blog so that you can see what it looks like. Oh, I can't get the tea light out. That's it, there we go. These are just battery ones. Obviously do not use a live flame. That would be a disaster, to say the least. Right, there you go. That's it for today then. We're all done. I hope you enjoyed that. Everything that I've used to make this gorgeous birdhouse is all going to be listed on the blog post that goes with this video. Forgot the word then, video. It'll all be listed on the blog post that goes with the video. So all you need to do is just have a look through all the bump underneath the video and the blog post link will be there for you. Just click on that. It will take you through to my blog and then you will be able to just go through the post. It will give you the measurements that you need for your scoring lines and your cutting lines, and then there will be the links so that you can actually buy all these gorgeous products as well. Alright, all you need to do is just click on them and you go straight through to my shop and you're done. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Add them to your shopping basket. Don't forget the hostess code, because if you forget your hostess code, which you'll also find on my blog by the way, forget the hostess code and I won't be able to send you any goodies at the end of the month. Because what I tend to do, everybody that uses the hostess code on my blog, when they place their orders on my website, all of those gradually tots up over the month, and then at the end of the month there's a nice pot sitting there where I can choose lots of lovely goodies for you to send out. Now it could be something as simple as just some dimensionals or some washi tape, or it could, in fact more often than not, is actually stamp sets. So I get to choose stamp sets, and then I can send all of you a stamp set each for free. I do like free things. And, oh yes, and I almost forgot, of course, place your order for £45 or more. You get a free celebration item as well. So you're kind of quids in everywhere you look at it, aren't you? Right, that's it then. I am off. I will see you again very soon. Don't forget, just go onto my blog, www.thecraftyspark.co.uk, and you can get all your goodies and make one of these cute little houses yourself. But until next time, I will see you again very soon.